Okay, so this is Rosslyn Farms School, and the building actually was erected in 1910. It's a grade school. It was a public grade school, had 4 rooms, 8 grades, and about somewhere between 80 and 90 students. Now, we had an auditorium in the basement where we had basketball games, and we also had theatrical performances and music class, and during the morning it was also used as a kindergarten. Rosslyn Farms School was a public school. Public if you lived in Rosslyn Farms. It was like no other public school you've ever known, or I've ever known. It was completely unique. 2 grades in each room. We had a piano in all 4 classrooms. And we had a baby grand piano in the auditorium. We were well equipped. We had a television set. We watched primarily educational programs on WQED, the first educational station, television station in the country. And we also watched things like space launchings and some presidential inaugurations. I remember specifically in 1960 when Rosslyn Farms was 99% Republican. Senator Kennedy won the election over Vice President Richard Nixon, and it was almost a day of mourning here. 3 years ago, we had a reunion. It was organized by a local resident, Isabel Ford, and she did a great job. We had former students at the reunion who attended the school as far back as the 1920s, right up through 1970. As I said, the building was constructed in 1910 and operational as a grade school for nearly 60 years. Some of the most notables to attend Rosslyn Farms School: twice Governor and Attorney General Richard Thornburg. He and his wife attended the reunion, and it was quite nice to see them again. I was their parents' paperboy. I delivered the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette in the 50s. I think I was 8 years old when the Greens gave up part of their route to me. The Fox twins were here, looking as great as ever. Both of them. In their mid-60s, they looked like they did when they were here at Rosslyn Farms School. You know that phrase, boy, she's a fox. They were the original foxes, and they remain so today. And how about this genius PowerPoint guy and his brother? Everybody walked to school. There were no buses. Everybody lived in walking distance. We had an hour and a half for lunch. Adequate time for everybody to walk home. I think the furthest away anybody lived was probably a half mile at the most. I lived right over the hill here. It took me 5 minutes. After I'd eat lunch, I'd run back up here and begin to play softball, which we did every single day, especially during the fall and spring months of the year. Why don't you come inside with me and we'll take a look at some of the classrooms and see how things were then.
Restoration of these windows, which we ultimately decided to restore as opposed to replace. That was done about a year after the reunion, and we were thrilled with the way it turned out. It was not an inexpensive project. It was probably $26,000.
This is the stairway I would walk to class, or actually incline, after the bell was rung by Santa Claus. That's right. The janitor, whose name was Mr. Patterson, looked just like Santa Claus, and every year at Christmas time he would dress up like Santa Claus, and nobody was the wiser. And a security alarm's not going to go off, is it, when we open this door?
We don't have. Don't tell anybody. But anyway, so do you want to look at the gym first?
Yeah, sure. Actually, this is quite an interesting little door here to the projector room.
Oh.
Is it ever used anymore?
No.
No? We used to shine spotlights and we had plays here. Now, we had a baby grand piano that sat in that corner over there. Even when we had basketball games, the piano was still there and we'd play around it. This floor looks original.
Oh, it is the original floor.
Tongue and groove, of course. And we walk around to the library. Is it a kitchen now? It used to be a library up here.
And in the back room.
Oh, this used to be the library. Yeah.
The library was actually back there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back there.
Yeah.
Boy, this was always dark.
Yeah, go ahead in. The men's room has been redone.
Oh yeah. No, it looks pretty similar. It may have been redone, but
No, it's not that dissimilar. You're right, but it has been updated, believe it or not.
now this actually was 2 rooms separated by a partition over through the middle here. And 1st and 2nd grade to the right, and 3rd and 4th to the left. And then across the hall, is this open or not?
It is open. This is now a resale shop with a bunch of junk in it.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
Well, this was the 5th and 6th grade. And this was the cloak room. We actually had a cloak room like they do U.S. Capitol building. I had never heard the term before, and that's the only 2 cloakrooms I've ever heard of are the one that the Congress uses and this one. And this is a little play yard where we used to play dodgeball or hopscotch. Some of the teachers parked their car right here. I remember Miss Burris had that peach-colored 1954 Chevy. Maybe it was two-toned. Peach and cream. So I'm going to walk around back now. This would have been the entrance to the 1st and 2nd grade, and this is the back door of what would have been 3rd and 4th. And here's the playground. Looks like the original swings and sliding board. We had a monkey bars over here, but perhaps it became too dangerous and they took it away. We all have our own images permanently etched in our collective memories about Rosslyn Farms School. We were part of a very fortunate group of kids whose parents happened to choose to live in Rosslyn Farms. Only now, as we reflect, do we understand how very lucky we were to have experienced such a safe and wonderful childhood, of which Rosslyn Farms School played a major role.